cannot dictate anything to wine. It asks everything from you. It has its own regime, and it just drag me in. It still is a hobby, I would say. This is not a huge winery, this is rather a boutique winery. When you go to the cellar, you will see, I make lots of different wines, but tiny quantities. It can be like, the 100 bottles each, 200 bottles each, or like less than 500 for sure. Okay, so yes, it is a business because it can sustain itself, but it's not like business for money. It's mostly for lifestyle. It's mostly for as a hobby. The biggest thing about my wine is that it's a wild wine as such. It's literally a wild wine. Okay, so that means that my involvement in the process of vinification is mostly two things. It's to keep hygiene and provide some conditions, and to have some kind of the culinary thinking for wine, like how to blend, and what to blend, how to treat like the ingredients of the grapes, because when you take grapes at the stage of a winemaker I am now, the grapes, they just stop being grapes only. Because the grapes is now the skins, the pulp, the juice, the seeds, the branches, the stems, right? And so on. And you have your own take to each of them, okay? And you decide when to combine, how to combine, when to separate, what to do with each one, what kind of maceration to do with for each wine and so on. And it's quite a complicated thing. But that's it actually. No chemistry, no heavy chemistry, no artificial chemistry is involved, neither in vineyard nor in the cellar. Honestly, of course, it started by COVID, as for most people probably, especially in this part of the world, because the online sales were not very popular in here. But yes, the COVID brought this novelty to us. And I searched around what was the best solution, because we would sit here all the time. We found Equid, and I'm very happy with this. Google. I just Googled. There were a few options. I read through, and I decided the Equid was most suitable for me. This is my first, because I tried the Google shop. I tried the Facebook shop. I love them, like in theory, but they don't work for wine. So I had narrowed down my options. It's quite easy. You just contact or contract the courier services, like delivery services, and they do it for you. The disadvantage here is, of course, that we cannot deliver abroad. It's like hell expensive. So we only wish that our post works better. We need to integrate Europe for that, also for that. Well, it's so important that I do try myself to do something about it, like contacting the transport companies and so on. But trying some solutions for some countries, but you have to work one by one for each of them, and it's laborsome. There's no time for it. So of course we're waiting for some like general solution. It's a hard question. It's me, but of course, depending on the thing I do, I hire people, or some people just come and help me. But we're also an association, that means that we produce not only my wines, but we may have the wines from other friends, or the wines from other friends' vineyards. So there are a few people involved, but on this place, it's literally me. It's me. I did on my own. No, it's on me, and it's so easy. That's one of the reasons I love the platform. Equid is quite easy to build. It just freed some time for me, and brought some more money for me. I think that's enough for the benefits. The restrictions are applied when you actually sell through the Facebook shop. But if you simply post something, or if you post the URL from other side, like Equid side, like in my case it's AB Wine Art .g slash some particular wine link, right? There's no problem. So I literally put mostly the same text I put on Equate, or maybe I add something else on Facebook, okay? And I just post the link from the Equate store, okay? And it works fine because all the friends, all the friends, or this open audience, you know. You can also boost some posts, and I mean, yeah, that's quite handy. I wish I did videos as well, but I rarely have time for this. Sometimes I do if I manage, but mostly I use it like quite simple. I mean, I take a post from Equate, I mean the link from Equate, I put it on Facebook, add some text, you know. That's basically it. Oh, very easy. Yeah. I do use it, but like combined with Facebook. Okay, I have a merge link between the Facebook and Instagram. So whatever put out on one of it, it's on the other resource as well. Pinterest is more interesting for me. TikTok is not for me, obviously. I don't know. I mean, the reason. I mean, you probably noticed that the Facebook works better in Georgia. And I think that's because you have more text on Facebook, you know. The Instagram is mostly, you know, the pictures, videos, stuff, you know, reels, which is all fine. But Georgians love probably the text as well, you know. So, yeah, I mean, they both work, but Facebook is still more popular here. TikTok is becoming very popular, but I still didn't find it like attractive for me personally. Maybe the future is holding something for me, I don't know. But, well, yeah, so far, that's how it goes. Well, I mean, it's quite a loop of people, okay? I have, for example, like, you know, several accounts, like one personal account as a winemaker, one personal account as a person, you know, and then a few pages and stuff. If you combine them all, I have maybe like over 50,000 followers. Or also imagine if I use this resource, you know, and it's quite obvious how it helps. And then, of course, you have to understand the logarithm under the Facebook, behind Facebook, right, posts. And yeah, I'm not saying I'm an expert on this, but I have some understanding. So I'm trying to post in the right time, right place, you know, right audiences, and that goes beyond your own loop, right? So that's even better than showing stuff to your friends. Quality and philosophy. I mean, quality and your take to wine. You know, I mean, yes, it's popular, but first of all, the wine world is divided on two, more or less. Okay, you have this industrial world, okay, cheaper, lower quality, less interesting, okay, and then you have this boutique wineries, okay. But in these small guys, the small wineries, you quite often have some problems like with hygiene, you know, and then with thinking, because sometimes, most of the time, people just reiterate what they know from the ancestors, you know, sometimes successfully, sometimes not so much, you know. So it's not very interesting all the time. Sometimes it is, depending on the place the grapes are coming from, like the terroirs and stuff, you know. But if you try to raise your level of comprehension of grapes and wine, of course it gets totally different, okay? Like, first of all, of course, the healthiness. I mean, the wine must be healthy, okay? And the way I produce it is they're like mostly kind of wild wines, literally, okay? I mean, there is no a natural involvement in this, you know. And then I do think that the realm of wine is also a big thing for culinary thinking, you know, the way we blend, the way we build our wines, you know, and of course, yeah, patience, because the natural wines, they need some time, some few years. Just imagine, it takes me at least 3 years to build a recipe for a single wine. Okay, so yeah, if you enjoy this stuff, if you can afford time and have patience, have some brains working behind, then you can do something different, And when you make something different, you always have an advantage. The challenges, the wine is not enough all the time. We sell more than we produce because it's really tiny production here. Very clearly, I do it all the time. Don't get me wrong, I don't know, maybe I try to even create those trends sometimes, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe, okay, what can be the best answer? I just try to keep myself in the loop of the best winemakers around, That's how I make it, yeah. This is the answer, by the way. The first one was like, yeah. But this is the reality also, I mean, like 3 days ago, probably I had the wine tasting of my wines in Kutaisi, and I was so happy. All the best winemakers of the region, they arrived with their wines, So first we tried my wines, and then we tried everything, okay? And so it was quite a very, very, very pleasant evening. It was a success for the restaurant who set the event up, okay? But it was a huge pleasure for us, for all, So, and we exchange our expertise and our knowledge all the time. Me here, for example, every September, I'm creating a special event for the winemakers, okay? So it's quite a loop, okay? They all come here, and with their wines, we try everything, and again it starts, the talking and chatting and exchanging views and experiences and knowledges, and yeah, that's and not only in here. We go abroad, they come here, So of course the happiest day in this winery is when the winemakers come, okay? Because that's the day, And sometimes it happens, the door opens and some French guys come in, or the Italian guys, or whoever, And yeah, it goes in a natural way. I mean, we don't do anything especially for that, Like here locally, like as the visitors here, maybe, I don't know, like 95. They all, I mean, not all of them started as winemakers, but they all end up winemakers. So, just like me, I didn't start my life as a winemaker. Explain, like here, Equid is one of the easiest and most convenient platforms I've ever seen. You can, first of all, build your content very easily. You can put out whatever you want. You can describe the items you sell. You can advertise your items. You can integrate many different ways of payment with it. And now overall, it's very easy. It saves your time. It brings more money for you. I think it's an excellent tool. Both, I would say, because, I mean, depending on the season, like when I have to work in the vineyard, for example, okay, of course the app is more needed, right? But of course, when you sit by the PC doing some stuff, yeah, it's easier to log in, and this login, it also provides some other tools, I guess, maybe. Well, at least it's easier because of, maybe bigger screen and my old age, and bad eyes. But yeah, you can work in both ways. Like the app is excellent, and but I mostly use the app when the orders arrive. It's very easy to have it in the pocket. Yeah, sure. It comes from how you perceive the wine you make. Its story. The labels, they mostly reflect the story. Not all, but if you look here, like for example this one, okay, it says quintessentia. It's like fifth elements, right? It's Latin for fifth element. It consists of 5 elements, 5 different grapes here, and there is my own something involved, how I treat each of them, and then I said, okay, this is the 5th element. This is what I did with it wine, and that's what makes this wine what it is, okay? Like, take this for example. Moira is a Greek goddess for destiny, okay? And see this little dot here? It's a standalone variety, okay? It's very rare, these grapes, like super rare, okay? And it's a monocepage, like one variety wine, okay? So that's how I describe it. A little dot on the side, okay? So it's a corner. I'm a little one in the corner, but I'm very interested in because it's Moira. It's a fate changer, you know? You don't know it, but the second you try it, you love it, you know? So it's like kind of, you know, changes your fate, whatever. You know, it's a little play involved, of course, but yeah, that's how I kind of play with my wines, right? So this one is a Dio. Dio is literally Zeus in ancient Greek. Okay, so it's a god wine. Okay, so this is one of the ones I love most here, right? And of course, if the Italians read this, the Dio is simply the god. So quite a play here as well. And so on. I mean, each of my labels is like this. And of course, the logo, even here, I mean, it's everything and nothing about wine. It's a bottle, it's a clay jar, it's a query, it's some little pips, you know, it's a terracotta thing, you know, it's a bottle and so on. I mean, it's all there, all right? So it's an abstract thing about artisan or artisanal way of winemaking, okay? So, yeah. August is the playtime for me. That's when I sit down to write the recipes for the future wines and build the future labels. Every year. Because I mean, the wine is happening once a year, right? I mostly add something to the list of my wines, but I don't always repeat the wines, you know. I may drop a year, but then make it again, you know. So it depends. Or maybe I like something, but then I have a new idea how to improve it, you know, how to add some spiciness or whatever, you know. So yeah, that's how it goes. No? Okay, yeah, please do. Yeah, it was quite incredible because it like within an hour, I guess. My thoughts are about wine always, you know. I'm very sad that Facebook and Google, they don't like alcohol. Because that makes our lives much more difficult, you know. And we don't sell poison. This is nature actually here, you know. So it's I mean, guys sell cigarettes and we can't sell wine. That's quite unfair. Yeah, very clear advice. Sell online. Yeah, it works. Use Equid. It works.